Yo, 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 what's going on? It's the NRW where nerds rule the world. It's your boy, Kuya P, aka Patrick Michael Strange, and I'm back with my brother from another mother, the blur dad himself, Glenn Lawrence. We are about to get into the very last episode of Disney Studios' What If. It's What If the Watcher Broke His Oath. But before we get into it, let's show you the trailer real quick, and then I'll be back with my homie, the blur dad, Glenn Lawrence. Here we go. What If the Watcher Broke His Oath?
What if the Watcher broke his oath? Follow me. Enter the multiverse of infinite possibilities. Heroes are not born. They're forged in darkness.
So, where's the fight?
Shaped in battle. Defined by sacrifice.
And Iron Man. We do not back down from a fight.
Witness the biggest heroes. For the multiverse.
Boom! There you go. The trailer for What If the Watcher Broke His Oath, the very last episode of Disney Studios, Disney and Marvel's What If, the finale. Glenn Lawrence, what's up, brother? How are you doing today?
I am doing great. After watching this episode, I'm even better. It was great, man. I'm actually sad that there's not going to be any what ifs on Wednesday, for a while, but we get a little break before we get into Hawkeye. So I guess that's good. But this one was pretty amazing, man.
All right, well, we'll break it all down in our review. So let me throw it to you, man. Give us the basic concept story breakdown for this particular episode. It's on you, brother.
So this episode is incredible. It's aptly named What If the Watcher Broke His Oath, but it's not necessarily him willingly breaking his oath. It's gotten broken for him by Ultron breaking through the multiverse and busting stuff down and coming right after the Watcher, bringing the fight to him. And it's so great. The episode starts out with basically where the last one left off. But this time we get to see all kinds of cool things, like we get to see Captain Carter in her universe going through the same mission that Captain America went through with Balrog, the Leaper, and on the ship where they were going through it, searching for Hydra agents and whatever else they were doing, the weapons cache. And we see the relationship that Black Widow and Captain Carter has. It starts out right there. But right as we think we're going to see some dope stuff like Balrog and Captain Carter about to square off, we get a pause and we see the Watcher say, "Time out. I need her for just 1 second. I need her for just one mission real quick, if you don't mind." Freezes time. And then we're going on kind of one of these, get a team together type situations where basically the Watcher brings together all the people that we've seen from different multiverses that we've all watched. He brings them all together, starting with the one that the last episode ended with, Doctor Strange. He's in the what is aptly named the Guardians of the Multiverse, which he comes up with a little bit later. But so he gathers him, he gathers Killmonger, he gathers, who else did he gather? He gathered the Thor, Party Thor gets gathered up. He gathers, who else? Help me out here, Kuya P. Who else did he have with him?
So we have Party Thor, we have
Demonic Doctor Strange,
Doctor Strange, Star-Lord,
right. T'Challa, that's right. Okay,
yeah, Gamora with
who I was missing. Gamora, and then Captain Carter. So with that, and then of course Killmonger. So we didn't get to actually see the episode where Gamora has her What If. That's the one where she has it with Tony Stark. But we do get to see the Watcher come in and say, "Gamora, I need you," which is kind of funny because then Tony Stark's like, what's what's going on? And he's like, I don't need you, Stark. Shut up. You're not part of this. So he gathers the team together. There's a lot of funny kind of comedic moments. I think when he's gathering those people all together, and he gets them, he takes them into a bar at the edge of eternity, which is great. It's really, really fun, to the point where Thor is like, man, I'm not dealing with any of this. And he tries to step outside, and you see him almost get taken off into wherever they are, the Nexus or whatever. So it's cool. So he breaks it down. He tells them Ultron's trying to destroy the universe, and then they go on their mission. Along the way, they're actually able to meet with another version of Black Widow in the original universe that Ultron had taken over, that was super apocalyptic, where we got to see Clinton Barton sacrifice himself. So it's really a great team, dynamic team. And then they're fighting Ultron. We get to see all kinds of cool things. We love it when the heroes team up. They get to bounce their powers off of each other. They do that here. It's pretty awesome. This time we don't get to see the Watcher fight, so it's kind of weird. He breaks his oath, but just by getting the team together. He doesn't fight Ultron like he was in the last episode. He's really just pulling the strings again. He's kind of, it's like, come on, Watcher, if you're going to be involved, be involved. He pulls everybody together, and then he goes back to just watching, which is like, come on, bro. Like, come on, you ain't gonna put an arm in this fight. We know you've been fighting anyway. But it's great, and we get to see the team work together. It gets to the point where there is no killing blow. It just actually everybody does their part and does what they're supposed to do, which ends up containing the problem as it's supposed to be contained. And then everything is put right with these universes and the multiverse for as far as we know. Great episode, amazing episode. So many twists and turns. I know we're going to probably talk about the characters for a second here, but that's the basic breakdown of what happened. And we can get into our feelings into it after we figure out about the characters, which Kuya P, I know you're going to take us through deftly with skill and pizzazz.
I appreciate that lead in, brother. All right. So returning, we have Jeffrey Wright, who, we all love. He's an amazing actor. Brings his gravitas, that voice, that gravel to the Watcher. He's back. Samuel L. Jackson back as Nick Fury. Haley Atwell is back as Peggy Carter / Captain Carter. And of course, because of the whole case that Scarlett had, that I think has since been settled since we last all talked with Disney and Marvel, is still replaced by Lake Bell as Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow. Frank Grillo's back as Brock Rumlaw. Again, as part of as a SHIELD agent, not as Crossbones when he turns into that villain that we know, but he's just still the SHIELD agent. He doesn't go bad yet. GSP, George St. Pierre, is back as Batrock. That was kind of cool to see GSP back. I love that, they've continued on with him as the Batrock character. So that was cool. Peter Quill is voiced by Brian T. Delaney. So Chris, oh my
Pratt.
gosh, Chris, what's
Pratt.
his last name?
Pratt.
When I was saying it sounded like Pratt, so I didn't really catch the Pratt. Thanks for the help there, Glenn. So Chris Pratt isn't back as Peter Quill. It's Brian T. Delaney. Sufficient enough for this, and also replacing RDJ is Mick Wingert in the voice of Iron Man, Tony Stark. Also being replaced is Gamora with Cynthia K. McWilliams. But then back to regular voice is Michael B. Jordan, of course. He is the one true Killmonger. Chris Hemsworth is back as Thor. Benedict Cumberbatch back as Doctor Strange, or the Strange Supreme that is written in the IMDb credits. So they're calling him the Strange Supreme, apparently, in this. Ross Marquand is replaced. He's really Ultron now because, again, they had that whole thing with Red Skull, and then he replaced Red Skull. But then Spader was Ultron, but he's doing Ultron for Spader. Ross Marquand.
Duty.
Doing double duty. Lots of villains in Ross's resume. Toby Jones is back as Arnim Zola. Tom Hiddleston back as Loki. Kurt Russell as Ego. We have a bunch of additional voices, but I wanted to point out for the very last voice in his last role as T'Challa, Black Panther, Star-Lord T'Challa, the last we see of Chadwick Boseman playing the signature role that made him
last we hear of him.
So rest in peace to the mighty Chadwick Boseman. There's your characters in this particular episode. Let's throw it to the review, Glenn. You said you enjoyed it. You enjoyed this episode for the finale.
I had a great deal of fun with this episode. It was cool seeing everybody play off each other. I love a team up, a good team up movie, especially when they gather them. I really like seeing them all be pulled from kind of the end of those episodes. Killmonger, he's pulled from the end of his episode where Shuri and Pepper Potts are coming after him. We get to see, of course, Gamora and Iron Man at the end of their episode, which is an unseen episode. We don't actually know how that one went, but we get to see her pulled from the end of that. We get to see Party Thor. He's pulled from his universe where Ultron's actually attacking, so he probably has a little bit more insight. We get to see Captain Carter. I thought it was a great way to bring in the episode, that Captain Carter scene where we get to see it parallel her taking out people just like Captain America was taking out people on the ship. Doctor Strange, it was great seeing where we left off of the last episode where it's like, hey, I need your help, and he gets brought in, kind of knowing exactly what the situation is, also seeing his powers and how he's still having that like inner evil try to leap out of him, but also having that Doctor Strange sense of good, sense of like wanting to right things and put things where they're supposed to be. All awesome. Getting to see Star-Lord, T'Challa, who actually I think had one of the only like happier endings to what he had going on. We get to see him saving the actual, or not the actual, but the Star-Lord that we know, which is Chris Pratt's character from Ego, the Living Planet. It was awesome seeing everybody getting brought into this episode. I love that team up, but then also getting to see them all play off each other, funny little quips that they had going back and forth. And then the coup de grace, which is Black Widow from that universe jumping in, Natasha Romanoff jumping in to the fray, taking the Infinity Stone right when they think they have a jump on how to solve things. I thought that was great because we didn't have a Black Widow in this setup, and she kind of infused herself, makes herself a integral part of the team. And then it was just great going through everything. I love it when Doctor Strange had all the Molgineers and he turns them into like 1,000 Molgineers and makes it into like a little neutron bomb looking thing. I thought that was super inventive. And then also to have Killmonger in the team, knowing that he's the type of person that he is, knowing that his actions are going to be what actually brings this to an end, because they couldn't really kill on Ultron. There was no way to really destroy him. He has a vibranium body that's pretty much indestructible in the Vision body. Plus he has his vibranium suit, nanotech vibranium suit. So he's pretty much indestructible, but knowing that Killmonger would come in and probably want to take those stones for his own power, because he's that type of dude. He needs that power. And using that and the Dark Doctor Strange to trap him in the multiverse was awesome. So I know there's a ton of spoilers there. I just love so much about this episode. It was great. I know I've rambled on. I should get your thoughts so you can interject, because I'm just talking and talking and talking. Kuya P, what did you think? Are you challenging me on some of these thoughts? Are you agreeing? Because the way you served it up, I'm feeling like you're not feeling this episode like I am.
Not as much. But before I get into it, I forgot to point out in the character voices, Letitia Wright wasn't back as Shuri. She was replaced by Ozioma Kage, or however you pronounce her last name. I apologize for mispronouncing the last name, but I'm doing my best. But Ozioma Akage did Shuri's voice instead of Letitia Wright. I'm wondering if that's because Letitia is an anti-vaxxer, and so they didn't want to bring her in there. Anyway.
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
That upset me though, because I like you, Letitia, but I can't agree with you on that. Anyway, I'll leave the politics. I'll leave the politics out of this.
We're gonna get way off there.
Sidetracked.
Well, because like having questions isn't anti-vax. Like having questions isn't anti-vax thing.
Anyway, let's move it forward.
You brought it up.
I'm saddened by that.
Why did you?
Because I like Letitia. I've also heard other things too, but we're not gonna make that into this episode. I've just been disappointed by my girl Letitia. I don't know. Just when you learn more about somebody, sometimes you get a little upset. That's why we shouldn't put people on pedestals. Anyway. So
I just don't think if you're like, if you have questions, all of a sudden now you're like, oh, now this person is terrible. I don't know.
We'll have a follow up on that at a later time if we want to. There, brother Glenn. So anyway, just disappointed in my girl Letitia. So yeah, this episode, man, felt rushed. You know, and like you pointed out, like everybody got their moment of the sun to introduce the build up, the characters, you know, as we said throughout this season of What If was a great build up, and they brought every character in right, and then to then bring everybody into the fold for the Guardians of the Multiverse at the very opening of the episode was good. But as you said, Gamora got, you know, nothing. You know, maybe that's because they couldn't bring back. Please remind me who played Gamora.
Zoe Saldana.
Zoe Saldana, yes. Maybe that's why, and so that's why they had her replaced by Cynthia K. McWilliams, at least as far as this animated What If episode was concerned. I don't know. So I would have loved to know how she lived without Thanos taking over and her having the Thanos suit and all that. I don't know. I would have loved to have gotten that story to then come into this episode. So it felt like we were missing an episode because of Gamora's not getting her due.
I mean, we were missing an episode. That episode was missing because there is an episode where she does get her due, but they couldn't do it because of like all the COVID things or restrictions. That's why they couldn't air it. So there is an episode that we're getting with Gamora and Tony Stark. That's what I was saying earlier.
They actually said they filmed that? They actually
they have an episode with Gamora and Tony Stark.
They just didn't insert it in time for this.
Yeah. That's what I was. That's the whole thing at the end where they grab Tony Stark and Gamora from their ending, which is with the dwarf whatever, I forget what his name is. The guy who made Mjolnir and he made Stormbreaker and he made the Gauntlet or whatnot. That ending is part of their What If, which they didn't actually get to put in this season, but they're going to put in the next season.
That's whack. That's what it just. So that's part of it that already fell apart for me as you're bringing this episode in together. Like again, it seems so that just tells me it felt rushed. Like they just felt like they had to put a button on it already to, you know, wind it down. So that just kind of for me set the whole tone. You know, they brought the characters together, but then not having that part of the story with Gamora felt weird. And then just the conclusion. I don't know, man. It had some moments. It went more comedic route, as you stated, than kind of like the adventure, dramatic route to it, and kind of piecing it. It's so that's how I felt throughout the whole episode. It had its moments, you know. Marvel kills it. You know what I'm saying? They do some good throwbacks to classic sequences and parts of story, but shifting it to fit this What If genre. But that's kind of like how it all fell apart for me. I liked that setup with Killmonger, as you stated, with not Chadwick, but fucking, I can't talk today. It's been a long day. Michael B. Jordan with him and what his role would be as a character. So you kind of see that coming, and then to have its conclusion that worked out good. And as you said, it's kind of impossible to kill Ultron. So it made sense. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, it kind of left me like it felt rushed. Like it wasn't a fully serviced story or a conclusion for me.
I mean, but to your point, I think all the episodes in What If have that feeling. Like every episode in What If left me like, oh man, I wanted to see more of it. And I think it's because we're used to seeing such a fully formed out story with a lot of the Marvel films as well as TV series. Yeah. I will say Falcon and Winter Soldier felt rushed. It felt like it should have had more episodes. Like everything in the Marvel universe feels like it should have episodes, but that's because we're so used to getting more time with all these characters. We're used to getting 2-hour movies, 2.5-hour movies. So, you know, we're getting short shrift. Now, the thing with Gamora, I feel like that may have been alleviated if we did get that episode. But, you know, we didn't. In terms of how it ended, I thought that it was perfect. Like the way to end it is with a stalemate, because there was no way that they were beating this all-powerful being, you know what I mean? I thought that was a great way to end it, especially when there is no way to end it. Ultron does destroy everything because he is all-knowing, all-seeing, and he's all-powerful now with the Infinity Gauntlet. Unless Kang comes around, takes him to the TVA, depowers the Infinity Gauntlet, and puts his vibranium on ice because he has traveled the multiverse and he knows how to disable vibranium and he knows all about technology. Unless that happens, pretty much Ultron takes everything.
I got you, brother. So yeah, it kind of was lukewarm for me, you know, at the finale. Great series run. So my question to you is, so to close this out, then, favorite. So do you still stand by your favorite episode?
And
break that down again. What's your
I still
top
love
three?
I still love the Killmonger episode. I love the zombies episode. I like the fourth episode, I believe, which was where Loki takes over the Earth because all the Avengers get killed. I really enjoy that one. This one was good. It doesn't go in my top. I mean, it's like right outside the top. Like if I have a top 5, it's the 5th one. You know what I'm saying? So it was pretty.
What would be your least favorite episode then? Captain Carter.
The Captain Carter one at the beginning, maybe because I wasn't so.
You weren't sold on it at the beginning.
I wasn't sold on it, and I hate that because I really wanted to like it. But I just thought the Captain Carter episode had nothing to do with Captain Carter. I thought all that stuff was kind of cool. The thing I didn't like was I didn't like the Steve Rogers part of the Captain Carter episode because I'm like, Steve Rogers was a puny soldier that nobody cared about. Like they wouldn't have given him an Iron Man suit. Like they just wouldn't have. There would have been, you know what I mean? There's so many other people who might have taken that or used that. So I wasn't so much a fan of it. And I don't think, like at that point, Captain Carter wasn't in love with Steve like that. He was just like a dude that she had met once or twice, like, and he's gonna take the serum, like whatever. Like she wasn't, head over heels. So that part of me was like, that's not really where we are. We're not there in the story for that to be the offshoot that it takes. Like she's so in love with this person. Like she didn't even like him at that point. Like if you go back to the movies, she wasn't all up on Steve. Like at that point, she was just kind of like, oh, it's cool. But as she saw him like progress and turn into the person, that's when she fell in love. Not when he was like scrawny puny before he even got the serum. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of weird. So
then I got to ask you then, that's a perfect segue to where the finale kind of finished up at with Iron Steve, with her finding out.
That didn't hit for me either.
Iron Steve was still around and he's inside.
Nope, didn't hit for me. I felt like you felt. I felt like that was anticlimactic. I was like, take it or leave it. But I think it's funny how our sides went like this in terms of how we liked it. Like I didn't like it at the beginning, and it got more, and I liked it. And you did like it at the beginning, and then you're just kind of like slowly, like we're like approaching at different sides. So by the end of it, you're like, I'm not feeling it. And by the end of it, I'm like, I love it.
That's why we're homies, bro, and why we work together so well.
There was the perfect. That's why the Killmonger episode I think was the best, because that was the nexus. That was the cross point where both you and I were like, yes, and then it just went into that little X where we, and then you stopped liking it. I started liking it, and then it just changed.
Crazy. All right, man. So in conclusion, the finale's done. We got it. You dug the finale. It was lukewarm for me. What is your expectation for season 2? What do you want to see? What are your proposed what ifs?
Man, just more of the same. I think it's kind of cool. I think I do want to see if they introduce Kang into here. I want to see if some of the other characters get introduced. I think the Young Avengers might be kind of cool to see how they come. And then, of course, seeing the X-Men or the mutants being involved in the What If series. I want to see how that transpires. Maybe some Eternal stuff, but that's what I'm really looking forward to in the next season of What If is the mutants.
Well, I think that's kind of while that would be cool, I think if we're still doing what ifs based off of existing content material that they already have. So what I would think would be interesting is say, like, what if from WandaVision, what if Wanda won and kept this world inhabited with in her own little area, right?
Yeah, that's a cool one.
Did that? What if with the Falcon Winter Soldier series, some what ifs there? What if that other Cap still became the Cap? Still stays Cap,
what if
and took out
Isaiah Bradley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if we kept Isaiah Bradley as Cap for forever?
Oh, was that not the one you were thinking of? You were thinking of the other?
No, I love that one. That one's that was in when I was thinking the racist Cap.
Oh, the other dude.
Or the Republican Cap, right? What if he maintained, So I think that's what would be interesting if they kept it still in this realm of adapting existing content, and doing more what ifs to that degree. I think we're far off before we get of course, we'd love to see the X-Men in them. But I think they got to build it into the regular MCU first before we
Bro,
see that.
a what if with
You know?
Isaiah Bradley if he was the actual Cap?
That would be fucking dope.
That'd be
That's
kinda dope.
I'm with you on that. That would be a great what if for the next season, you know,
Mhm.
if they give us that, you know. So until the next time we can ponder that question, right? Of what if.
Yes, until the next time we ponder what if.
How can they reach out to Glenn Lawrence and they can tell you what they want to ponder, Glenn?
Check me out on Glenn Lawrence Laughs, Glenn Lawrence Comedy on your Facebook and your IGs. Glenn Levels Up is the Twitter handle now. Trying to get new followers. I just hit my 11th anniversary. We got new episodes of the Blur Dad podcast. Check that out on Level Up Comedy Facebook. And then we have the YouTube channel for Level Up Comedy as well, where you can go check out all this content as well. My friends, check us out.
There you go. Support my brother Glenn Lawrence, the Blur Dad. Level up yourself with his Level Up Comedy. For your boy Kuya P, I'm at the legend Kuya P on Twitter, TikTok, and IG. Over at the Nerds of Color, giving you that POC content and of course that Filipinx content with Show Pal Show. And always here with my brother Glenn Lawrence. Everybody, the squad, weekly, something to nothing, where it's at the NRW or at New Release Wednesday, because that's where nerds rule the world. We are out of here until the next season to ponder the question, Glenn. What if? As he says it silently, and we just fade away. All right, y'all, we're out of here. My brother Glenn, your boy Kuya P, we're out of here. Boom.
No way.